In the dimly lit corridors of a small rural hospital, time stretches and warps, casting shadows of despair and dread. Here we follow John, a man gripped by panic and uncertainty as he awaits news of his beloved wife Emily and their young son Nathan. With each passing moment, anxiety transforms into desperation, leading him down a dark path where the line between reality and madness blurs. This is a story of love, loss, and the terrifying depths of the human mind, where the quest for truth can unravel the very fabric of one's soul. Hey, mystery lovers, welcome to the hollow waiting room. Hours had passed since the accident. At least that's what it felt like to John. Time warped in the dim waiting room of the small rural hospital. The smell of antiseptic mixed with the flickering fluorescent lights. He sat, legs shaking restlessly, clutching his phone, glancing at it every few minutes, though no messages came. His wife Emily and their young son Nathan had been at the gas station when disaster struck. John had just stepped inside to grab some snacks for their long drive when he heard the sharp crack of gunfire echoing through the air. Rushing back outside, heart pounding, he saw chaos unfolding in the parking lot. A masked gunman was firing wildly, and his family was caught in the crossfire. Emily lay on the ground, clutching Nathan, who was crumpled beside her, both of them surrounded by terrified bystanders. Blood pooled beneath them, soaking the pavement. Panic consumed him as he sprinted toward them, shouting their names. Without waiting for help, he scooped them up, desperately trying to staunch the bleeding. With every second feeling like an eternity, he rushed them to his car, his heart racing with fear. He drove like a madman, weaving through traffic, praying for them to hold on. The hospital loomed ahead, an old building tucked away on a lonely road. He parked haphazardly and burst through the front doors, shouting for help. Now he waited and waited. The nurses at the reception desk avoided his gaze, speaking in hushed tones, casting nervous glances. Anxiety twisted into frustration. Why wouldn't they let him see Emily and Nathan? Finally, John's patience snapped. He stood up and marched to the front desk, demanding answers. "Sir," the nurse said, eyes darting to the hallway, "please sit down. We're doing everything we can." But John wasn't listening anymore. The waiting was unbearable, suffocating. He had to find them. Without thinking, John stormed down the hallway, his pulse quickening. The sterile walls stretched endlessly, each corner leading him deeper into the hospital's labyrinth. As he passed locked doors, his panic grew. Something felt off. The air was thick and oppressive, his footsteps echoing unnaturally as if he were in a nightmare. Then faintly he heard it. Screams, muffled but unmistakably Emily's voice and Nathan's cry of terror piercing the silence like a knife. "Emily!" John shouted, breaking into a run. His heart thundered as he followed the sounds down a set of stairs, spiraling deeper into the hospital. He reached a heavy door marked "Authorized Personnel Only." Ignoring the sign, John pushed it open and entered a dim, cold room. The air reeked of chemicals and decay. His stomach twisted as he stumbled forward, eyes adjusting to the flickering light. And there they were. Emily and Nathan lay on separate operating tables, their bodies pale and bloodied, surrounded by figures in white coats. But these doctors didn't look human. Their faces were distorted, skin stretched over sharp bones, eyes dark, hollow pits. They were dissecting his family. Horror washed over John as one casually pulled out Nathan's liver, placing it in a tray, while another tore open Emily's skin with emotionless precision. "No!" John screamed, his mind snapping. He grabbed a metal tray and rushed at one figure, slamming it into its head. It collapsed, black blood oozing from its skull. The others turned to him, but John didn't stop. He fought like a man possessed, grabbing a scalpel, slashing wildly at the figures. By the time the last doctor lay lifeless, John was drenched in blood, breath ragged. He rushed to Emily and Nathan, carefully lifting their broken bodies from the tables. "I'm going to get you out of here," he whispered, tears streaming down his face. He pushed an emergency bed out of the operating room, navigating the silent corridors. Bursting through the front doors, he pushed the bed toward his car, ignoring the flames licking at the edges of the hospital behind him. Once he got them into the back seat, he sped off, not looking back. Hours later, John pulled over, knuckles white from gripping the steering wheel. He had saved them. He had to believe that. But when he opened the back door, something was wrong. Instead of Emily and Nathan, he found the cold, rigid bodies of two strangers. Reality hit him like a freight train. There was no accident at the gas station. He hadn't saved them. John stumbled back, the truth unraveling in his mind. Emily and Nathan were dead. He had killed them. The accident was a twisted fabrication his mind had created to cover the horrific truth. In a moment of madness, he had taken their lives with his own hands. The screams he had heard in the hospital, the grotesque operating room, the strange doctors, they had all been in his head. The hospital crew he had slaughtered were real people, innocent doctors and nurses he had imagined as monsters. And the bodies in the back of his car were stolen from the morgue, strangers he had confused for his family. John fell to his knees, the weight of his actions crushing him. His wife and son were gone, killed by his own hands, and the blood of strangers now stained his soul. As the sun rose on the horizon, casting a cold light over the scene, John realized there was no escape from the nightmare. Not anymore. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to stay updated for more mysterious tales. Until then, keep your curiosity alive and your lights on. Thanks for watching.